It's going to be 10 years from now, and conservatives are going to be blaming things on Joe Biden that Joe Biden had nothing to do with.
Why does the administration think it's a good investment to buy into a bankrupt airline?
Well, I understand the airline is bankrupt because the previous administration blocked the merger, which was probably not a wise move. Obviously, this is something the Commerce Department and the President are tracking. I don't have any updates or announcements, but the aviation industry is very important to this president and this White House. Millions of Americans depend on it.
I swear they blame Biden for a cloudy fucking day. Spirit Airlines has approached the Trump administration about an emergency bailout to keep the discount carrier in business and avoid liquidation due to skyrocketing fuel prices. Who caused that? The rescue package that the Trump administration is working on could give the U.S. government an option to own as much as 90% of the carrier once it emerges from bankruptcy. This would be like $500 million. Even some conservatives who love handing your tax dollars to corporations have come out against this. Both Ted Cruz and Marjorie Greene issued statements in opposition to it. Ted said, "This is an absolutely terrible idea. The TARP corporate bailouts were a huge mistake, and the government doesn't know a damn thing about running a failed budget airline." Of course, he had to throw in at the end that the Biden administration killed, so he doesn't piss off his daddy.
So first things first. No, Spirit Airline is not going under because of Joe Biden. Spirit Airlines could shut down by week's end as bankruptcy recovery regresses. Sources within Spirit Airlines have suggested that the low-cost carrier may close operations as early as this week. As first reported by CNBC News, the path to recovery for one of America's few remaining budget carriers has been rough, and it could be on the verge of another financial collapse. Now, Spirit is reportedly facing the risk of liquidation rather than a third bankruptcy filing. The airline's financial troubles have been compounded by several factors. Ongoing engine problems led to a Pratt and Whitney recall that grounded many of Spirit's Airbus jets in 2023. I don't recall Joe Biden causing an engine recall. Spirit was targeting a profit of $252 million last year, but it also reported losing $257 million after the first time it filed bankruptcy, leaving virtually zero room to fall short of its goal. Spirit Airlines filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in November of 2024, citing annual losses of more than $1.2 billion. The initial insolvency filing followed the failure of a planned merger with JetBlue, which was blocked earlier in 2024 by a federal judge on antitrust grounds. Recovery after that was made more challenging by soft demand for domestic leisure travel. Unable to make a profit, the airline filed for a second Chapter 11 bankruptcy in August 29th of 2025. Spirit did negotiate an agreement to exit its second Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the summer of 2025, but the ultra-low-cost carrier's cash flow was still strained. The airline introduced new premium airfare choices like big front seats, more legroom, and other perks. This, unfortunately, was not enough, and sharp increases in fuel costs have undermined the airline's cash flow assumptions. Once again, fuel costs are up because of the war in Iran. Allegedly, lenders funding its credit line now doubt the current renegotiation plan will succeed. The blame for low profits is being largely placed on the recent surge in jet fuel prices prompted by U.S. President Donald Trump's attack on Iran. The civil aviation sector has been hit hard by rising oil prices caused by Operation Epic Fury. Creditors are reportedly exploring whether the company is still viable or if its assets should be sold off. So first things first, no, Joe Biden did not cause the demise of Spirit Airlines. Piss poor business practices, engine recalls, jet fuel prices. They filed Chapter 11 twice already. This is not Joe Biden's fault. But more importantly, Republicans, MAGA, conservatives, you guys are now in favor of state-owned businesses. You guys are now in favor of the government controlling things like private industry like this, taking 90% of an airline. You want the government to own 90% of Spirit Airline. I want you to imagine for just a moment that Obama did this. So we're going to own this. The government's going to own this airlines. You guys would lose your ever-loving fucking minds. You guys are blaming Biden for something that he didn't do. You won't take responsibility for the shit your guy did to help facilitate the final nail in the coffin of an airline that has run its business shitty for years. And now you guys are in favor of government-controlled assets? Now you guys are in favor of the government owning private industries like this? That's a hell of a switch.